Good afternoon and welcome. My name's Cary and I'm one half of Two Big Girls Crafting. Now my laptop has decided not to load up today, so I was wondering if anybody out there who can see me could please give me a thumbs up so I know that it's going live. Excuse me. I don't know what the poor old laptop's doing. Maybe it's heard that I might be looking for a new one and it might be throwing its toys out the pram. But hey, anyway, that's not what you're here for. I'm going to share with you today some fun and quick and easy ways to use up some of those pattern paper scraps. You know, the ones that you put in the packet or wherever you keep them because they're just too gorgeous to throw away. And they sit there and they sit there. So I've come up with a couple of ways that we can use them. So I'm going to go ahead as if somebody can see and hear me and just cross my fingers. So bear with as I turn the camera around when I found the button. And, oh, hopefully you can see my desk now. Well, I won't say it's a desk. It's not a desk. It's my dining table that I have commandeered and turned into my crafting space. It's really annoying that I can't get the laptop to come on because I really do need to be able to see that you can see. Can you see me? Please respond. Hi, Kay. Thank you. I'm glad you could hear me. Okay. So my first card today, as you know, if you followed me at all, you'll know I love the pack that these papers come from. They're from a pack called Merry, Bold and Bright. And I just love them. But sadly, they're no longer available. So I really do want to make the most of them. So what I'm going to do is bring in, hi Andrea, a punch. Now I've just picked a circle punch. You can choose whatever you like. I've got a variety of sizes available to me. And I'm literally just going to punch out some circles. And I have got pre-prepared, in the best Blue Peter way, a piece of cardstock cut to the size that I want it to be. So do I think that's the right size for that? I'm going to punch one out of each of these pieces of paper. Of course, the paper is double-sided, so you always get extra for your more bang for your buck. But I'm not going to try. I'm going to try not to go too hard looking at the patterns. Rather, I'm going to look to getting the layouts. Now, oh, actually, that works quite nicely, doesn't it? The size is quite good. I wonder if we could go a little bit bigger. Now, the only problem is I don't have a 1 1/4 punch. I've got 1 3/8. Well, let's see what that one looks like in comparison. And just try it on that piece. Does that look better? Actually, I think that does look better. So I'm going to go with the larger size. I'm not going to be too panicked about the colouring. And exactly what I'm saying I'm doing is what I said I shouldn't do. So I'm going to stop there and not look too much at it. I like this size better. This is 1 3/8. It works better for me. I'll turn that around. Will I get enough? No, I want a bit of navy in it. So let's go for that one. I suppose I am in my head working out the colours. But, you know, we're all allowed to do that, aren't we? So basically, all I'm going to be doing is putting these circles down the length of the card to make a feature. I could bring in my little circles as well, couldn't I? And make a swoosh. going across the card. Oh, I quite like that. What do we think of that, Kay? You're still there. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Ali. What do you girls think? A straight line, well, straightish line going down, or the more the merrier? Not sure. I need some advice, please. So let's go back and have a look at the other way. So I suggested a straightish wonky line, going down. Now, Kay, do you like it like this, with just the big circles, or like this with the little circles on there as well? More the merrier, says Deborah. Ah, hi, Deborah. More the merrier. Okay, we're going to go for more the merrier. We can add some dimension, can't we, as well? Because we do have our wonderful little, when I can find them, 3D foams, or as I call them, dimensionals. Okay, but before we do that, let's stamp a sentiment on there. We want something that's going to fit down there. So this stamp set is called Throughout the Year, and I think it's quite a good one. And I think that's going to work as a thank you card. So I've got my stamp, I've got my block. I'm laying my block down, and I'm using my grid paper to help me line up the sentiments. I'm going to go with this shade of blue, which is Blueberry Bushel. Oh, the laptop might have decided it quite likes me. Let's have a go, see if it'll turn on. You like both, Kay? Yeah, I couldn't decide. So we've gone with what Lynn and... sorry, I didn't catch the other lady's name. Oh, I can't come back to it now. So, inked up. And let's line up the paper on the cardstock on the grid paper, because these are using up scraps. We don't want to make them too busy. Thank you. Well, it is very busy, but you know what I mean. Too full on. So that's that done. Now, I do have a piece of Granny Apple green cardstock to go under there, which I think, yes, I quite like that. I must admit, that's looking quite good to me. Although a piece of Blueberry Bushel would have been nice, but I don't have any spare scrappy bits, so I'm not going to go with those. So let's get out the glue and start laying some of these down. I'm just going to be trying to keep it random, and I'm going to lay the larger ones, the large circles, down flat, and then I'm going to come in and add the smaller circles 3D. So I'm literally just putting a bit of glue behind and going from there. This is supposed to be quick and simple. You could use tape if you wish. I prefer to use liquid glue. I quite like it just like that, but we're going to add some height to it by bringing in our glue dots. So I know I want one that's going to go there, so we're going to have a bit of stripes by there, and I think we need one there. I think that might be the trees. There is no rhyme or reason, I'm just going for it. And we need one there, and we're going to need one there, and we've got 3, so we need one more. But let's finish this bit first, so we can always add, but it's harder to take away. There we go. Oh, there we go. And we're going to put that guy so that he comes over there. So do we like that? I do. So these are quick cards. They're not difficult. They're going to be using scraps. They're to tidy out your things ready for the new year and the new catalogues when they arrive and all that jazz. So there we have. Now, am I going to throw away these scraps? Probably not, because you know me. I like them too much. I like the paper too much, so I'm going to try and my best to find more ways to use them. So this is my first sample, a idea for using up those scraps. Grab your punches. This one is made using a circle punch. You could make it in flowers, do whatever you like. I just like the idea of it being quick and easy. Sorry, I used the 1 3/4 circle and the 1-inch punch there. So there we have card number 1. Okay, card number 2 is using this paper, which is called Bright and Beautiful. You'll notice that most of the other cards I'm making today are all made using 6x6 scraps. But I have got a selection here, and I know that I use 6x6 papers for some reason seem to bring about a lot of different sized end pieces, scrap pieces, whatever we want to call them. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm going to keep in mind that I'm going to be using, this is a piece of scrap paper. Hi Donna. Oh, PA. What's PA stand for? I want to say Pasadena, but don't know why. Probably because I'm an avid Big Bang fan. That's going to be too big, but that piece of scrap white is what I'm going to put my sentiment on, and these pieces I'm going to Pennsylvania. Thank you, my lovely. That makes more sense than Pasadena, doesn't it? Pasadena isn't a state. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the ends of these into little banners. Now, as you can see, all these pieces are different sizes, and my banners are going to be different sizes too, because I can't cut a straight line to save my life usually. I think we're going to go for there. That looks a bit better. We do have punches that do these things, but for some reason I didn't pick them up before coming to this. There we go, that's better. Cut a line up the centre and then cut to the centre. Gives you a better chance of a banner that's worth looking at. And there we go. One more to go. And I've cut that. Do you know what? Nice thing about scraps, I can cut that end off completely. Let's try this again, shall we? We're going to go for a low and slow one on this. Low and wide, rather, not low and slow. There, that's better. Until I can't get it out. There we go. And this one. Hard to do this when you're struggling to stay calm and cool and collected. You can't cut straight either. Oh, I'm glad about it. No, I'm not glad that you can't, but I'm glad that I'm not the only one. So, right, I'm going to take my banners and I'm going to lay them up till I'm happy with the way they look. I'm just going to pop that over the top so I can have a rough idea of what it's going to look like. I actually don't like that layout. I much preferred it when I had them staggered. I don't want pink next to pink. That looks good. That's better. That's better. I can change the length of them because I can alter where I stick them down. See, this big long one here isn't. It could go over there, couldn't it? We don't have to see both sides of the point. What do we think? Oh, I quite like that. What do you guys think? That's why we have a trimmer. Very good point, Lynn. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to have a sip of my tea. have been plagued with a voice that comes in and out all week. It never completely goes, it just kind of phases in and out, which is rather annoying. So I am actually going to bring my trimmer in now, because I'm going to decide where I'm going to cut this scrap off. Well, that size is usable. So let's make this the same width as my card base, but I like the slope on it. So we're going to keep that. That bit probably is too small to save, but that piece isn't. I think that piece... Oh, I've gone too wide, haven't I? You silly sausage. It's not a landscape card, it's a portrait. It needs 10.5 centimetres wide. If you're new here, I am a crazy Brit, but I do use centimetres rather than the imperial system. I try to use the appropriate measurements on my blog posts, but when I'm doing these things, I'm afraid I stick to what I know best, which is centimetres. Now I think I'm going to choose one of these darker shades here, possibly the I think I might go for Pretty Peacock for the sentiment, and see what I go. Now I think I could get Happiest of Birthdays on there. Is that what that says? No, that says Happy Holidays. Happiest of Birthdays. There, that'll go on there nicely. Let's find another block and that'll do the job. So I line my block up again on my grid paper. I don't use the stickers on the back of these stamps. That is my choice. The stickers work a treat if that's your thing. But I look down. You can't see, sorry. I line up my block with the lines on my grid paper. I then line up the words. Crazy is good, Cary. Thank you, Kay. I totally agree. Crazy is good. And I line up with the lines that I can see through. And then all I have to remember to keep straight is the block rather than the stamps. So let's get this sentiment stamped. Nice and inked. Oh, look at that ink all around the outside. Very wasteful. So I'm going to go for my sentiment to be the middle or to the side. I'm going to go to the side because I like creating white space. Keep my blocks straight and fingers crossed that it comes out okay. So that's another one done. Just got to stick it together. I am just giving this stamp a white because they're going off to the side and my arm is near the side. And it gets a bit nerve-wracking when I think I might be sticking. Look, I've got ink on me already. Remember, when you ink, use a piece of kitchen roll or a tissue to keep your hands dry. The ink will wash off later, but you really do want to keep the ink dry on your hand. So let's get this back in. We like that. I like that. Line up my card. I'm going to take a piece of tear and tape and oh no, that's not good. I like that better. I want a bit of movement down at the bottom here so that things are coming in different heights and widths and points to create movement across my card. Now these are all laid out and I'm quite happy with where they are, but if I pick one up they're all going to go everywhere. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of tear and tape and I'm going to lay it across them like that, so that they are not attached to the paper, but they're attached to each other. I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I'm just going to get this edge here a little tidier. No other reason than why not, really. That piece will go back in the packet. The other pieces won't. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape across the back there, just a little bit, just to hold it steady, so that they're now in a position to be attached to that. Now I'm going to raise this all up because I'm not using any texture or anything else on here. I need a bit of height. The height will give the piece some shadowing and will create more of a visual to look at. So let's get that, some 3D foam. So there we go. We're going to take those off of there. Oops, there we go. Now, these pieces are not going to be all stuck. So I'm going to turn this up this way so that I can see easier where I'm going. And I'm just going to catch those there. That's better. Let's make it straight. There. And then I'm going to add some more 3D foam to the back panel here, and on top of these ones that are already showing there, so that then now the top panel will be 2 stickers high, and the paper will only be 1, so we're therefore going to create 3 layers on this card just by using 3D foam. Let's get them out of the way. Oh, these covers get everywhere, don't they? Hope you all had a good weekend. We had fun yesterday. We held our online Christmas bingo event, and we all played bingo. It was fun. Now, when I put this down, I'm actually going to be aiming to get this top level with the top fold of the card, and then gently place it down. Now, I don't have to stick any of these bits down because I know they're adhered with the tape. So there you have it. Card number 2, using scraps to make banners across your card. I'm going to get rid of some of these 3D backings because they're getting in the way now. Whoop. But we'll leave that fine. So that's that one. And moving on. See how quick these are? I do have a question now. I have these 2 and I can't decide which papers to use. I can go blues or reds. What would you like me to make? These come from a pack of paper called One Horse Open Sleigh and are available online. They're an online exclusive. They're very soft and gentle and pretty, and of course they're double blues. Deanna has spoken. We're going with blues. Oh, blues. Sorry, Lynn. Blue one. I can make the red one up later and share it with you. So I have got 3 strips of paper here. They all measure the same. They're all 5 centimetres wide and 15.1 centimetres long. And what I'm going to do with them, I can change the sides that show or I can mix them up. I can mix and match it. I could have a strong blue one with two softer textures. I can have a blue scene one with the trees and the blues. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put them all together. Oh, that one's a fraction wider. We need to trim that off. So I'm going to get my trimmer out. I am just going to double check that that is 5 centimetres. It's a fraction over. I do need them to all be the same for this, which is why if you're using 6x6 papers, having this size strip left over from a card front is very common, because a card front is 10 and these are 15. So let's get them together, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up and I'm going to cut them on the diagonal. I'm going to do all 3 together. Let's hope it works. Keep your fingers crossed, hold your breath. So that we now have 6 pieces to use. I have a mat of, this is very vanilla because I like the softness of the vanilla with these. And we're going to create a starburst pattern. And we could do it, you're lining that up there and then putting that there and that one there, and repeating the process all the way around so that we get an off-centered starburst pattern. Now, which one do I want? Now, I quite like it when it's a little bit more space between them. I like seeing the vanilla through there. I always advise you to play with this as you're going around, because it's going to be different every time you do it. That's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. So try and start with your center one and then work your way round. And don't forget that you will have some bits to chop off. So let's go for it. I'm going to start with this middle piece here, the piece I first laid down, simply because I know I have to have a starting point, and it might as well be this one. And that's a go. Down a fraction from there. That'll do. And then I'm just going to lie these in place around it. You could use pattern paper, cardstock, whatever you like for this. Really doesn't matter. I actually want that piece down there for there, because I like the tree shape. I'm only eyeballing this. It is going to be wonky if you are very much a precise and precision type person. This might not be your style. Well, the way I'm doing it might not be, because I'm playing it very much by ear. Now that's a bit too wide. Let's pull that up and move that a little closer. And we just keep doing it. Blue, adhere, we'll have a little bit more there, make that a little bit wider. Let's go from there. I think this is called a sunburst pattern, or a starburst, or sunray, but it's my version. So it won't be exact, it won't be precise. So all I need now is I'm going to bring out my trusty little guillotine, and I'm going to trim off all these edges. I'm doing this one first, this side first, because then I can get it all in there. Now this little beauty is very elderly and doesn't like the sticky stuff very much, but it'll get there. But I'm going to save these bigger pieces because there's one end that might benefit from a little extra cardstock. Now, as you can see, I can't line that up along the top, so I'm going to use one of the grid lines along the bottom to help me get that nice and straight. And then the final side, and we're done. All right, so as you can see, I need a little bit down there because obviously we need odd numbers, don't we? So what am I going to put there? I really fancy a piece of that blue. I like that blue piece of paper. So let's place that in there, shall we? Or do we want it to not have? No, go for it the proper. That way, yes. I'm just going to put some glue on here because this is going to cover the edge. And get rid of that. And we're going to go like that. And we'll bring back our trimmer in a second. I will just put the lid on that and move these pieces out the way because they are a bit sticky. So they actually will be going in the bin. Only because I've made them sticky because I'm kind of in a rush. I'm not rushing, but I'm not spending hours doing things today. These are quick cards. And as I said before, they are made using scraps. So there we have our panel. I think that looks rather lovely. I'm going to pop that onto that blue mat and onto a vanilla card base. I have punched out a circle because I thought it would be quite nice to put a circle for the sentiment. So let's get this stuck onto its panel first. Get rid of that scrappy bit from there. We don't want any of that. See, now I'm beginning to wonder, should I have put it on a vanilla piece? But too late. It's on a blue piece now. And it's going to go on there. And I need a bone folder for that card base. Right, before I go any further, I need to decide about my circle because I think that's too big. But what I want to do is cut it off there. But before I do that, I need to find the sentiment that is going to work for it. You mean so much to me? What do we think of that one? Trick or treat is no good. Best of luck. Oh, thank you, Betty. Becky. Love this, never made one. It's so simple, Kay. Super easy. Just make sure that your rectangles are all the same size and that you have a minimum of three 15 by 5 centimetre pieces to use for a A6 card. If you want to go bigger, you can. It's endless. You could make them narrower and have lots more, of course. So, you mean so much to me, or best of luck. Oh, cheers to you and the new year. Actually, no, let's go for that. Let's see what that's going to look like there. That's going to go around. That would work nicely. New Year's coming up. If you haven't made your Christmas cards, you could always make New Year's cards and send them out instead. Or you could just send out New Year's cards anyway. Why not? So again, I'm going to line up my block. I'm going to line up my sentiments so that I can use the grid underneath to attempt to get them straight. Stickers are, of course, useful. Don't get me wrong. But I'm lazy. So I'm going to use Misty Moonlight, which is the colour of the cardstock base that I put on there. So I'm going to ink this up. Now, I've never used this one before, so let's just see how it goes. Yep, very nice. But I don't want it to be in the centre of the circle. I want it to be off to the side because I'm going to cut that down. I don't want that to be a full circle. I just want that to be on the side. And again, I'm cleaning this, well, I'm not actually cleaning it properly. I'm just giving it a wipe so that I don't end up with the ink on me. So I am going to bring out my pencil for this. I think about there. That looks about right to me. I'm going to very carefully lay that down, grab a pencil, draw the line there, and then bring in my old guillotine, line it up, double check first. Yeah, that looks all right to me. We can always, it's only paper, not the end of the world if we don't get it right. There we go. So I'm going to use some 3D foam for the card base. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Put this in place. The reason I love Stampin' Up! Dimensionals is the fact that they're the only ones I know where the backings, what do we call them, release papers, come off so easily. Now, shall I put that down flat or shall I raise it up? Oh, thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Becky. Oh, you guys are good. Oh, okay, hang on. Just have another mouthful of water. It's not water, it's actually fruit tea. Oh, the world runs on tea. Even if it is the hippy-dippy type. I'm going to put a 3D foam under there. And I'm only going to put it in the middle because I want to see if I like it standing up a little bit more. And I don't. I'm actually going to lay it flat. I've got height from there. That's plenty for this card. Okay. We're running out of time now. We've got to get this going. So line up my card base on the grid paper. Put the sentiment kind of central to the panels. And there we have it. Card number 3 made with our scraps. I'm enjoying this. Hope you are. Okay, my final card idea for scraps is from the, hang on, let me find out the name of it. Inked Botanicals papers. They too are 6x6s. This is how I store my 6x6 in the packet. Sorry, flat. I went flat. We have good taste, okay? This is how I store my 6x6 in the packet with the card that tells me all the names, and I put all my scraps back in there. I find that for me is the best way. It works for me. I'm sure there are a lot more. Oh, I've got bits stuck to me now. Let me get rid of those and get rid of these because they're going to be falling all over the place if I don't move them now. Good job I have a bin just down off here. So, what was I saying? You can store them many ways and there's no right or wrong. Now for this one, I found these 2 larger pieces and I had this pool party card base already on my table and this paper goes with it quite nicely. And then I found this one, which I really like. But this, I can't decide. No, I'm going to stick with what my first thoughts were. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to turn it into, let's measure it first, see how wide it is. We are 8 centimetres wide. Oh, we're going to take off that piece off of that blade, otherwise it won't work. And this piece is 5 centimetres wide. So what do I want to do? Do I want to just lay that on there and put that over the top? I mean, that would be a super quick card, wouldn't it? It's too long at the moment, but that would be super quick, but a little boring. So I think I'm going to stick with this piece, and I'm going to cut this into a more usable length. We're going to go for 12 centimetres, and then I'm going to cut it in half. So it's 8 centimetres, so, but I'm not going to cut it equally actually. I'm going to go for unequal. So we have now got 2 pieces. I'm then going to turn it around and cut it at 8. So I now have 3 rectangles that marry up, and I'm going to cut this one. But I'm going to cut this one, what did we make it? 12, so I'm going to cut this one at 4. So you can do all this by eye, you don't need to measure any of this. It's just working in whatever way works for you. Now look, that's just with those pieces. We've got this great shapes going on. I like that. That's very nice. Let's transfer that. Oh, before we do that, I need to cut this mat. I'm going to go 13.9 to start with. And I'm going to make it 9.5 centimetres wide, just because I can. It's one of my favourite size mats. It works so well. And I'm going to place that, and that on there. See, I've changed it around already. So we have that. Do we like this? Does this look nice? Let's see. What have we got going on here? That's not bad. I quite like that. The white, although it's got a vanilla background, it actually, this paper actually has flashes of white going through it. So for me, that works with that. And I might actually, I mean, I could keep that as a rectangle, or I could open it out and make it work at different heights. Oh, I quite like that. Oh, this is so tricky. So tricky. Making decisions. Who knew it could be so hard? Now, do we like, or do you guys like, the off kilter pattern, or do you like it when it's symmetrical? I don't know. I'm having troubles now. I can't decide. And do I want this panel in? Oh, I don't know. This is hard. Let's have another look at this. We've got that piece. We could have that piece. We could do that. It's like a jigsaw. There's so many choices. We could rotate it and go landscape. Now, I like it portrait, and I have to say I do quite like having the longer panels offset. I quite like them not being regular. No, I think that needs the balance of that. Even if I cut that to a smaller panel, I could trim that out again. I could bring in another scrap and put that there, because that then makes it an odd number, which we know we like odd numbers. So I'm not going to decisions. Right, that piece needs to have a little bit chopped off. So let's just chop a little bit off of there. At the moment it measures 4. Let's make it measure 3. That better? Yes, that's better. And then this little piece can come down there. Do I need to do... No, I think that's where my sentiment's going to go, I think that's where my sentiment might go. So you could slide down your longer piece and turn the piece that you were going to cut longways. I could turn that way and have that way and have one side going like that, couldn't I? I could put this piece down here and have that piece over there. Oh, I could play this game forever. But I have this strip of white that I'm going to use for my sentiment. Actually, that's a good way to have it, I think. So, due to the fact that we have a time constraint here, let's just stick it down. I'm going to use this top left-hand corner to work out where things are going to sit from. They're going to go in roughly half a centimetre in each way. And then this panel could go there, with that panel there, and that panel there. Oh lordy lord, this is getting tricky now. Oh, every time I think I've got it, I change it. I like it off, so we're just going to move things around a bit. Not too much. There. That's the way it's going to be. Thank you, Becky. So we're going to place that there. We're going to put this one, this little piece there, coming down. Oh, excuse me. Got to keep lubricated. I'm going to put this long piece there. So this top left-hand side and the corner is all the same. But this piece is going to be slightly out. But that's okay, because we're going to put our sentiment is going to go in here somewhere. Now before I go any further, let's double check that on there. I like that. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in. Well, actually I'm going to bring my guillotine in, and I'm going to cut off half a centimetre off of there, so that is a little closer. I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of big borders, but they have their place. Quite like that. Now we could put that on there like that. We could have it that way. We could find, oh look, there's that paste from the first card, the second card we did. That's a little large. I'm going to go back to my thank you sentiment. So line that back up on the block. That's it. And what colour am I going to use for this one? I'm going to go pool party, excuse me, view of my arm. That's it, pool party. And I'm just going to do it that way. I'm just going to place it on there. So let's get it inked up. Tap, 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 tap. And line up my strip with grid paper. This is just I'm going to stamp it in the middle actually, because then we can decide where our sentiment is going to go. I mean, we could, if we so desired, use some of this as a backing to go behind it to make the sentiment pop, but actually it's overtaking. No, we're going to leave our sentiment down here. I quite like that. That will do for me. And I'm going to cut that at an angle, just across there. So give that a little bit of movement. And then I'm going to mark where I'm going to cut that piece off there. Now I can do it this way. Which, no, but I'm not going to, because I want to do it 3D foam, don't I? So let's get the pencil out. I was going to stick it straight and then I would have just cut it once it was glued, but that's no good. If you've got a steady hand, you can, of course, use scissors. So we've used scrap paper, we've used scrap everything, but I do have, oh, I like this. We'll have a little bit of ribbon on this one to bring in the ribbon from the base. And pick out the ribbon colour in there. So where's my good old faithful tear and tape? Let's put a length of tear and tape across the back of the sentiment strip. Take the cover off. Get my swooshy, I don't know quite what we call this, but my ribbon. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Like that. So that's going to sit down here. We're going to put some 3D foam on there because we don't want the ribbon to be direct. It's got movement. So I'm not going to put that on there yet. I'm going to stick this panel down on the card. And now my grid paper is getting a little gluey from the sunbursty one. So let's get that. That looks good. You can use scraps of ribbon. You could use a scrap of paper to add to this. I'm just using the ribbon because it happened to be there. Ooh, drop that. And I'm going to lay that just there. And there you have card number 4. Your sort of colours, Kate. Yes. Yeah, you like the muted colours, don't you? You're very soft and gentle. Okay, so here we go. There is card number 4. Card number 3. Card number 2. And card number 1. All made using scraps. 4 cards in under an hour. Not bad. Which is your favourite? Do you prefer straight edges, circles, randomness? What's your choice? These cards will work with any colours, any papers. You just have to let your imagination work for you. The blue wins for you, does it, Ali? You're a blue girl. I see, to me, I love the bright colours. I like the style of all of them, but I am drawn to the bright colours, I have to say. But that does come close. Thank you. Thank you both. You asked for more ways to use up your scraps, and I hope I've provided you with some inspiration. So that's all from me for this week. I look forward to joining you all next week. We won't be doing it the week after because that's the 25th. And something happens on that day that all our bank balances are going, oh, because of. Right, that's all from me. Take care, look after yourselves. Be good, have fun. Bye-bye.